We've got a caller on the line, so let's see who we've got on here. Area code 661. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sue, how are you? This is Bob.
Hi, Bob. How are you doing?
All right. Chilling out.
Hi, Bob. Oh, can't fault you.
What's that?
I can't fault you chilling out. That's what we're all doing. We're having a little bit of a rant with it, though.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm all right.
Nice to hear a man's voice on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, last time I checked, I'm a man.
What's going on in your world today?
Oh, not much. Just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the universe just hates me or something, to be honest with you. Man, I don't know how to fight it. I'm just like, I don't know. Frustrated.
What's got you despondent? Is there some key issue that's going on that you're struggling with that you want to share, maybe, that we can listen to?
Yeah, I say social life, love life. I mean, it just seems like, anytime I meet a woman, she's the kind of girl that loves to be with an abusive man and can't deal with being with a decent guy. And they wind up, going to find some jerk that's going to abuse them some more. And then, those guys do really good with women. They got companionship, and then a bunch of decent guys don't. And it's all backwards. And you're sitting there looking at it, and I just go, what the heck is this crap here? It's like, you start thinking that there's no women on this planet that can make a rational, logical decision or something, man. And I know it's like, obviously that's painting with way too broad of a brush, but when you see it happening over and over and over again,
Can I address this question? And so, before the show, I was speaking with a gentleman friend of mine, and I have to say that this is the second nice man, that I have heard in the past 2 hours discuss this very thing right here. And we had somebody in the psychic show who said exactly the same thing as well. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And all I can say to you,
I know I'm not alone, because I know like 1,000 guys who say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, don't change a thing though about being a nice guy. Believe me.
I'm not a nice guy. I stopped being a nice guy 30 years ago. I'm a good guy. There's a big difference.
Yeah, okay. You're right. You're right. I stand corrected. You're a good man.
Yeah. It's an insult for a woman to tell a guy that he's nice. I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay. Well, thank you for straightening us out on that one.
Bob, put her in the place.
I won't make that mistake twice.
Yeah, right?
And I remember there's a guy named Bob, because this could be him, okay? I'm afraid I'd never get home that night. He'd drop me off a cliff. I'm just teasing you. Sue gives my sense of humor. So, and I'm not
just to prove that I'm not nice, right?
Well, seriously, I'm very interested in what you have to say, though, because, like I said, I spoke to a nice man before I came on the show. We had a fascinating conversation, but part of our conversation was this very thing, so I always like to hear your side of the story. I mean, it's not a story, it's the truth, and I don't understand why the guys fall for the bad girls, the ones who abuse them. Think about it. It's kind of a two-way street there, because I look at these really great guys, and they've got bitches, pardon my language, for wives. And I think to myself, wow, why is that? So, Sue, we're going to let y'all answer that.
You know what? I have an answer, I think, and the bottom line is that when I hear about things like this, the people who are walking around getting involved, the bad people who are women, I guess that you can say, that are not the easiest to be with and tend to always want a bad guy because they don't know how to deal otherwise. It's because they haven't worked on themselves. It all comes down to loving the self. If you don't love the self, you're going to always attract the same shit. And I'm not saying that, Bob, that you don't love yourself. What I'm saying is that all these women are being put into your path for a reason, because there is going to be that one woman that comes along, and all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, my God, this is what I've been waiting for. And I know it's easy to say, but trust me, I've been through it because I like women, and I've just ended up in a relationship for the first time being in love and had my heart shattered. So I never let anyone in, and the one time I do, it ends up not being the right one. So I wanted to be jaded, and I decided, you know what, screw that. I'm going to focus on what I got out of it, and what I got out of it was the ability to learn to open up and let someone in. And I'm taking that as my tool for the next relationship. And so now I really know what to look for, you know what I mean, in the next person that decides that they like me. And I think that you maintain loving yourself and knowing that you're a good guy and that you have great qualities and characteristics to offer another human being, and she'll be presented to you. And you won't see it coming, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, my God, that's the woman that I've been waiting for. And I would just like to ask you to just keep your eyes and ears open and project that self-confidence and that love that you have for yourself, and you'll draw that woman in. The affirmations, what you put out, you will get back. And don't waste your time on someone. If you see a flag fly, walk away.
The first flag, yeah, really, walk away.
Because you're too good of a guy. And, you know, I hear guys, I know a lot of great men. Most of my friends are straight. And I don't really get along with the gay community very well. I don't know why. I don't fit in. Never have. But I meet a lot of men on Facebook that I have, you know, personal conversations with in private chat, and I hear this all the time. And, you know, eventually, and we just never know when, but that person will be presented to us. It's up to us to be aware enough to recognize it. And that's all of the advice I have to give. But don't stop being who you are. And I'm sorry that it's painful to keep meeting these women, but those women have not gotten the therapy that they need to get through the abuses they've suffered, so they keep projecting it onto other people.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, Bob? And have you got a comment back?
Well, I'm a former Marine, and I'm just starting to get to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm starting to get to like feeling like I'm pushed to the very edge here, and the next step is going to be, you know, me starting to, like, you know, just do the wrong thing, which I don't want to do, but it's like nothing else works. Nothing.
No, don't let it do that to you. Try to find some things that
it's not that I don't let it do. It's not about me letting it do that to me. It's what I've seen and what I've experienced. I don't know how to discount that. I don't know how to turn that off. I really don't, because in my mind I'm very logical. You know what I mean? I'm real good with computers, real good with music, real good with math. So I'm very, very logical. And after, you know, more than 35 years of evidence, it's hard for me to sit there and like, okay, here's a mountain of empirical evidence saying one thing, but then this fluffy feel-good thought form stuff on the other hand is supposed to be something else, and I'm like, I don't know how to overcome the mountain of evidence. I just don't. I'm honest and man enough to say it. I've never been able to do it. And I feel like the universe or God or whatever you call it, I don't even know. I just feel like it's putting me through some outrageously long torture test of faith or whatever you call it that I am never going to pass.
Bob,
that's what I feel like. Well, that's what I feel like.
But sometimes, Bob, and I can actually go with this because I have the same thing. Sometimes when we are finding loads of negative, we end up putting negative vibes out ourselves. And then we end up collecting more negative because negative attracts negative. So have you sort of gone on the idea that you're not going to find anybody nice because there isn't anybody? Have you just got that? And please don't take this wrong way, but do you feel like you've took on this negative attitude of I'm never going to find anybody nice because there isn't one?
I mean, I don't sit there and say never because that's, you know, I don't think that, like, I can sit there and say, like I said earlier, I know this is painting with an awfully broad brush, and I know that not every single woman is stupid. I know that every single woman doesn't want to get beat up. Nobody should obviously logically want to get beat up. Nobody. So I don't believe it's like every single woman. You know what I mean? But it's just that, you know, if you've got this mountain of evidence and then the positive stuff never shows up to counterbalance it, it's like it's too much of a struggle, man. This has been going on forever, and I'm man enough to admit that I just can't figure it out. I've never gotten it right, and it just gotten to the point where again I starting to feel like the universe, spirit, whatever you call it, maybe it doesn't want me to get this right, or maybe it just wants me to be down and out my whole life. And so it's really not about even women. It's really more like I'm really fighting mad at whatever the universe is, or whatever the spirit is, because I've been trying to take the high road and ask or prayer or whatever, try to take the high road, don't get down and dirty, don't smack nobody around when they're disrespecting me. And this goes for men too, and as far as just having a respect, level of time, or whatever it is, between people. And I don't take the low road. I don't get down and dirty when, I'm a trained killer, and it's just like, I just feel like no matter what I say to the universe, it's not listening and doesn't give a shit about me. That's just the way I feel. So it's not even really about women. It's deeper than that. It's like, I feel like I'm fighting God here.
Can I ask you a question, Bob?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you talked to a therapist or gone in and dealt and spent time talking about this with someone who comes from a professional side on how to get you to maybe look at what you're going through and what you're feeling, especially being a Marine as long as you have and seeing the death and destruction that you have? And I know that a lot of guys are really resistant to it, but I can't express enough how amazing it is to actually go through that process of letting that entire wall fall to pieces and then building back up. I know it's a really hard thing to even contemplate if you've never been open to it, but my suggestion would be that you go and talk to somebody about everything that you've been through. And there could be some things that you're just not seeing because you have those tapes playing over and over again in your head, and they're just playing repeat, and they're not going anywhere. And I'm a huge advocate of writing. I've written my life story, and I got to tell you, it's probably the most cathartic thing I've ever done. And I don't harbor any anger, any animosity, any hate. I've forgiven everyone and everything for what's happened to me. And it took a lot for me to give in and actually go get therapy. I was resistant to it for years, and it was probably the best thing I ever did. It just totally opened up the entire, and all I can say is that might be one thing that you may want to try and see if there's something that you're just not seeing because it's hard to be unbiased and objective when we're dealing with our own stuff. A lot of times it does take someone who absolutely knows nothing about you to learn about you to be able to point things out that we're missing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who can afford, whatever they charge, $100 an hour. And plus,
do you have any kind of insurance right now?
No, I got nothing. No health insurance, none of that.
I didn't have insurance. What I did when I came
and even if I did, I don't think I'd go because, that kind of stuff takes years and costs an arm and a leg. It's like...
No, honey. I went for 5 months, and I was able to go through a community center for $15 a pop. And I saw a graduate student from the local university and getting their doctorate in psychology. And I got to tell you, this person was probably better than any therapist I had seen in the past because they weren't practiced, I guess you could say. There are resources out there through like the Jewish community centers, the church community centers where you can sign up and they will let you pay whatever you can afford. I could have paid $5 a pop, but I didn't want to, I could afford 15, so I paid 15 a pop to go to their funding. And I went for 5 months, and it helped me through my near-death experience and my heartbreak. And I can't tell you, like I said, I was sitting on my bed with my 22. That's how sad and depressed I was. And I was like, fuck this, pardon my French, but I wasn't gonna let all my years go to hell and take my own life just because I was feeling that sad and alone, and I don't want to project my experiences onto you. I can only share how it helped me. And I got to tell you, it totally brought me out of that cloud of sadness. I never took an antidepressant. I wouldn't go on medication. I wasn't going to become part of that system. And it helped me see some things that I hadn't seen about myself that I thought I had figured out. And it brought me to a whole other level of self-awareness and understanding that I'm drawing people to me that I would have never thought I would, people with great energy, people who are loving and kind, who see the best in me. And I think that it's worth a try. I mean, it's something you can contemplate. I'm not going to say that you're wrong if you decide not to, but it is a tool that if you truly want to get to the root of why you keep meeting the people you do and the reason that you're having a hard time feeling like the universe is not opening up in the way that you need it to, you got to take accountability and responsibility and say, well, what is it I'm not doing that I can do to make something change in my life? You know, because you've got a huge gift to be giving to the world, and because you're feeling the way that you do, no one's getting to experience it.
Yeah, I just find it funny that, you know, it's like kind of like blaming the victim of a rape for the rapist, and it's like,
I understand. It's not,
you know, it's like the women are the ones that need therapy. Why's a good man got to go to therapy because of these stupid women? It's all backwards, man.
Well,
I'm not in the wrong here. I am not in the wrong here.
Hey,
it's
Bob,
listen.
Listen.
It's not about wrong or right.
Bob, can I ask you something? What was the reason? Was there a reason why you went into the Marines? When you went into the Marines, what was going on in your life at that time?
At the time, I was like, you know, young. I was only 19 years old. I just to find, you know, some direction in life. Find like go see the world, serve my country, you know, get some benefits, and also get some, you know, they were the toughest. It was also like testing myself, and just a bunch of different reasons, you know, education reasons as well, stuff like that. And I knew they were the best. So I wanted to be part of the best.
Yeah. I think Marines rock, by the way. I really do.
What's that?
I think Marines are like, I don't know. I love Marines. I think they rock. You guys go through a gamut of stuff that people would just never even be able to identify with. And it really tests everything about who you are as a human being. I mean, there's not one aspect of your character, your body, your mental status, and your emotions that's not put to the test. And I think it's a gift. If you can get through that, you should be revering yourself as an amazing man, as a man who's like, wow, look at what I've done. Look at what I've been able to get through.
Mm-hmm. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You're a man. You're good. That's a good thing.
Semper Fi.
Yeah, and you know, and I hadn't gone through that, I probably would have snapped a long time ago, or become one of those wife beaters. There's somebody in your chat room who's being real disrespectful to veterans and saying they're brainwashed and stuff. And
what?
You are, yeah. There's somebody in there saying that, and you know, whoever's saying that, you are dead wrong. How are you brainwashed after three months of boot camp where you get taught to adapt to all situations? Let me ask you this. Who's really brainwashed? Somebody who goes through 12 years of education, then 4 years of college with Marxist professors? That's who's brainwashed, not veterans. That's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
I seem to think, Bob, right, and I love all my spiritual stuff, right, and I'm getting from you that something happened during the end of your school time before you went into the Marines, and it's like you wanted something to be able to gain a respect, and you've got it from all of us. Never mind stupid comments in the chat room, ignore that, but I'm talking about, at the end of the day, we respect you. The people in uniform deserve respect because you fought for our countries in various different ways, and at the end of the day, but I do believe that you went into that for a reason. I think there was something that I wouldn't say you walked away from, but you wanted to better yourself because of it.
I'm sorry, say again. I'm sorry.
I feel that you actually didn't walk away from something during, I'm going to say, school time and after school, but you wanted to better yourself because of it. and that was around the end where you were leaving school and going into the Marines. There was something I'm not going to say you're walking from it, you weren't walking from it, but there was something you wanted to better yourself because of it.
It sounds to me
I can feel
like
it in your stomach. I can feel it in your stomach because I can feel that you've got butterflies that are making your stomach churn right now. I can feel it. I know I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong.
The thing that makes my stomach turn is people when they don't have respect. You know, you don't have to put anything in the plus column. Don't kiss my butt. You don't have to give me anything. Just don't go in the negative columns. Just keep it a zero-sum game. But people always tend to mistake kindness for weakness, and they put stuff in the negative column. That's what makes my stomach turn.
But do you know what, Bob? Hold a minute. Let's just remember, though, you're saying about women all the time. Men can give negative comments out, too. This is a sign of the world. This is not just women. It's not just men. People are in a negative state at the moment. Well, you listen to a show on a Saturday when we do about Hey Mr. Government, which I know that you would be able to take part of. At the end of the day, you know yourself that the world is in a negative place. Look at the bombings that's going on. Look at all the other things that's going on in the world. The world is in a negative place because people are being forced to be negative. That's not just about women. That's not just about blokes. That's everybody. We all get negative places. We're all, I'm sure, every single one of us listening to this show tonight, at some point during today, has had a negative thought. Okay? All of us. But I'm still going to go back to you and say that you went into the Marines for a reason to better yourself because something happened to you at the end of your school or begin just after school. Something I don't know what it is, but there's something that made you want to better yourself and went to the Marines.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to better myself, but, I don't know exactly what that thing that happened was. I know in high school I felt like a failure with women. The same thing was happening back then. Jerks were the ones that women loved, and nice guys finished last, the whole 9 yards. That was no different back then. In fact, that was like the start of it all, probably.
You just need to change your thought. You just need to look at these women and look at the fact that you just need to look. You need to look at those women and think that is their loss.
Well, it is.
If that's all that they are willing to accept, let them have that. You don't want somebody that's just going to accept second best. You want somebody that looks at you and respects you for being the best man that you are. Somebody that looks at you and is proud of you for what you achieved.
Right.
So don't go taking second best. Okay, they can go out with you. They dump that weirdo-looking bloke that's going to smack them round the chops. Yeah, they'll dump him. They'll come to you. Do you really want to take a second best? Me personally, if I see a guy that's worked his backside off, if I see a guy that's worked his backside off and he's gone to the military and he's worked hard and he's got there, I would want you to have the best, not the second best.
Absolutely.
Right. Of course, I agree with you 100%. But where's the good choices?
So just be patient. It will come. Rome wasn't built in a day. No war has ever been
been
won.
What are you supposed to do? Wait till you're 90? You're supposed to wait till you're 95 in God's good time? Blah blah blah. I know 15 guys that did not live to be 40 years old. They're dead.
So be grateful that you're alive. Live your life. It doesn't have to be with a woman. You should be living 40 lives then. You should be getting out there and go and live it to the absolute max. It doesn't have to be with a woman. You've got so much to give. It doesn't have to be to a woman. You've got to be you for you. You've got to go and live your life with 40 people because like you just said, they're not here. All them people that have lost their lives, they would give anything to be back.
I do live my life. I do the best I can. I do every day. That's all I can do. I'm not sitting at home, woe is me. But in this one area of my life, I see that it's pretty ridiculous.
Right. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If there's anybody listening who think this guy is absolutely a beautiful guy, and I didn't say nice. Oh, I'm a sarcastic cow, sorry. Right.
Yeah, I'm not nice.
Right, what area do you live in, Bob?
D.C., Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. If anybody lives, and I'm no good on these states and places, so if you live anywhere near there, you can email me, asksueshow@gmail.com. If you think that you could maybe go on a date with this guy, but excuse me, we don't need anybody that wants to have a slap. We don't want anybody that's got massive attitude. We need somebody that's going to respect this guy, okay? No stupid people, please. Somebody with a brain.
People. No selfish people either.
No selfish.
No selfish.
And you will be going through a questionnaire before you even get to Bob, because me and Cathy will make sure we go through a questionnaire before you even reach to him. Does that sound okay, Bob?
Is that
I need to take you guys wherever I go. You can be my wingmen and my my enforcers.
You would be the envy, darling. You would be the envy of every man in that room and every woman too. Believe me, we would take good care of you, and only the best would survive that night. Only the best woman.
We would be vetting those women that we decided to let talk to you, and if they didn't pass our criteria, they're out the door.
That's what
Good.
I'm talking about.
That's what I need. I need a gang of women to guard me.
Bob's Angels. Bob's Angels. There's three of us right here. Bob's Angels.
If I was in Bowie, Maryland, and I liked boys, I would be hitting you up for a date right about now.
Hey, Bob, do you like older women? Wait a minute. Okay. If I'll pass her off here. Hey, Bob, you like older women? Blonde, blue-eyed? Very sweet country girl. I'm relocatable, okay?
Well, is my posse going to be armed?
We'll talk about that off air, okay? I do believe in the Second Amendment.
You guys.
Yeah, we're all good there.
Man.
It's just Robert on the show. Normally on Saturday, Sue and I do a global government show, and I do a lot of research for that show. And I think if you tune in next Saturday or the Saturday after, you would really enjoy the show, being a Marine. And I think that you would have a lot to contribute to our show because we are very pro-American. We are very patriotic and very respectful of the men and women who served and who died for our country. And I personally want to thank you on behalf of all Americans. And I respect. All the respect you earn. You deserve that. You've got my respect, my friend.
Thank you.
That our government is so manipulative, and I'm sick of them. I honestly think that all of our troops at war need to come home, and they need to be given good jobs, the care that they need, and we need to let these other countries fight their own battles for a while because...
Absolutely. Close our borders down for a while. Bring our troops home. Close our borders down. Take care of our own.
Exactly. Well, and I hate to say it, it's like, we have troops still in Germany. What the hell do we have troops in Germany for? Why? Why are our guys manning the South Korean border? Let the South Koreans deal with the North Koreans. Why are our guys at risk all the time? Why have we lost so many lives? Because our government has an agenda, and they manipulate the people. Our government does not work for us anymore. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are ready. I don't trust my government at all anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're not trustworthy. They lie all the time. That's again. How you gonna trust somebody that always lies to you? You can't. It's impossible.
Why are we still in Afghanistan?